this is all just normal stuff. Okay, so what I like to highlight, and maybe I'll do this in a second, but so when talking about Aureterra, there are a few things that make us very, very different compared to other clean beauty lines. So number one, we don't use any water. So wherever there is a water component, so for instance, your lotion is 70 to 80% water. And I know I kind of shared a little bit about with you when I saw you, but in replacement of that, we use Pure Rose Hydrosol. So Rose Hydrosol is distilled from pure rose petals, and we add distilled water. We heat that up. We let the steam rise, and we collect the droplets. So all the enzymatic properties in the rose petal are now captured into the droplet, and so that is the base of the water formula. So now you've got concentrated rose hydrosol as your base, and then along with that, we infuse our glycerins for 6 weeks in the sun with chamomile, licorice root, lemon balm, green tea, and nettle. And so then we strain that because glycerin is part of your water phase. So now 70 to 80% of your formula is not water, it's now concentrated botanicals. So that's number one. And then number two, all of the base oils are also infused with calendula flowers for 6 weeks in the sun. So we do a really long process, and we use the sun to draw out all the antioxidants and all the nutrients from the plant. So you'll find the oils are going to be in your lotion because you've got a water phase and an oil phase whenever you have a lotion. And so so this one, because it's a mist. Again, we don't use water. So in here we've got the rose hydrosol, we've got the different herbs that have been infused, and we add Indian gooseberry, which is in Ayurvedic they call it amla extract, but it's the highest form of vitamin C in nature. So there's zero water in this. It's all super concentrated. And then the polish is sort of how we kind of kickstart the set. And the polish, because it's a dry formula, you're getting 100% active ingredient. So you can see here you've got green clay, rice bran, Siberian ginseng, aloe vera, licorice root powder, colloidal oats, lavender buds, and then rosehip and vitamin E. So there's a ton of stuff going on here. It's a cleanser and an exfoliator in one. The cleansing agent, so whenever you have a cleanser, it's called the surfactant. A surfactant is the actual material, the raw ingredient that is pulling the dirt away from your skin and off of it. Typically, they're very harsh. There's really not a lot that are not. But we use one that is EcoCert approved, so it's European standards, very high European standards, and it's very gentle, it's biodegradable. So the surfactant that is used in here is very gentle. And then the other thing that's really important about this is that it's a gentle exfoliator. So as your skin's aging, so when we're in our 20s, it takes 10 days for your skin cells to turn over. When you're in your 40s, it's 30 to 40 days. So you've got a lot of dead skin sitting on the surface that has to come off, but there's really not a lot of great exfoliants out there because they're really harsh. And when you put a lot of that harsh chemicals or like the really grainy stuff, you're really stripping your skin barrier versus replenishing it. And then when you try this, which we'll do that shortly, you'll notice that it not only cleanses, but it hydrates you at the same time. So after you've used this, you're really hydrated. And so this is really easy. So when someone comes out of the sauna, your skin is really primed because your pores are open. So you can say, hey, this is a really great ritual. Go into the bathroom, cleanse your face with this, and then, pump a couple squirts of the mist on. The cream, because you're hot, you may not want to put cream on, but I think these two are really easy, especially because you have the samples, to just have them go try. And typically that's a pretty easy way to get them interested. This is, and I'm sure the girls can tell you, but in my experience, the polish is the easiest in because it really crosses barriers between age. So your young audience loves this because it's really great for acne-prone skin or oily skin, and then your aging customers really love it because it actually takes off your dead skin and it really makes your skin bright, and it's really, really gentle. So if people are like, oh, we'll just say, this is a great introduction. Always like you can always if any sort of guarantees, I mean, I'm happy to back anything that's needed. Like, you know, if you don't like it, you can bring it back, you know. But sometimes what people will say is, well, I already have a cleanser. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, because we actually suggest that you just start with this 3 times a week. So just incorporate it into whatever you're already using, and then, you know, build up to 5 days a week, but it's still, you can use your same system. And then typically people will really love it and then come back for something else. And we always, whenever we're pairing things, these two are really necessary to go together if they want the anti-aging benefits, because the peptide cream, so you've got the super concentrated water phase, the super concentrated oil phase, that alone nobody's doing. And then we add clinically studied peptides. So we add a high concentration of clinically studied peptides, and these are studied for aging benefits. So they've gone through clinical trial specifically to test these things. So they do boost collagen, if you just remember that. They boost collagen 1 and 3 specifically, but it boosts collagen, and then the other one that I always highlight is that it reduces the depth and the length of wrinkles. So those are, and then we start to see visible results in about 4 weeks. And the reason for that is because your skin cycle is 4 to 6 weeks. So once your skin has a full skin cycle, you'll really start to see those benefits. And this is after 4 weeks. So you'll start to really see those beautiful softening of the lines. It's really great for dark spots, people that have sun damage. It's very gentle. So kind of going back to what makes us different. So we are a natural luxury brand, but we do a lot of scientific studies. So we send all of our products to Europe for product testing. They are tested for sensitive skin, so they're safe for use on sensitive skin. If people say, I have like the most sensitive skin, always suggest that they start once a week. I have a really great blog post. You can always reference my website. You know, there's information about, like sometimes people that have really sensitive skin will have what's called purging. They're small little bumps, but they're not pimples, and they're different because they're not red and inflamed. So that's actually not a sensitivity to the product. It's actually what's happening. There are certain properties in here, BHAs and AHAs, but they're very natural. And what they're doing is they're getting the skin and pushing it forward to speed up that skin cycle. So that's happened a couple of times, but I've always been able to talk them through it. And if they do start just with once a week, and they work their way up to, you know, whatever is comfortable for them, then once that skin cycle takes place, it's 4 to 6 weeks. After that first skin cycle, then they won't have that again, and their skin will be very bright and very pretty. So if that ever comes up, so we are, and that really sets us apart from the natural lines, is that we've done a lot of clinical testing. So there's very few natural brands that do that, and so that kind of puts us in a really sweet spot in the market, along with our price point, because most peptide creams are going to be, you know, $150 to $250, and ours is $64. So we have a really lovely introductory price that people respond to, and then because you do see changes in your skin, people tend to come back. So that's a little bit about us. Tell me if there's any questions that you have.